It's 10:59. We should be
It's
good.
11 o'clock.
It's 11.
Oh, well, my
11.
watch is a minute behind then.
How can your watch be behind?
I don't know.
Oh, it's alright. No, it's a Fitbit, isn't it?
There's so
Yeah.
many creations live
Well, we're
now.
on, so.
Oh. Let's talk more about your watch.
Let's talk about my watch.
While I double fist my drinks.
That's you.
Never mind. I can hear me.
Oh, let me turn my phone off so we don't listen to this stereo.
Ugh. What am I doing?
What is she doing?
I'm just going to drink my coffee until 11:02.
We're just going to stand here and hang out.
Play tiddlywinks.
I got an extra shot from Starbucks this morning.
Oh, God,
I
watch
swear,
out.
I
Watch
swear
out.
it's Irish cream because it looks just
Mm-mm.
like it.
Good morning, people.
That's,
Judy,
Yeah, okay,
Yvonne,
whatever.
Whipping cream.
Patty, Gloria,
I top it, so it's fancy
Pam,
like at
and the
Starbucks.
list goes on and on. We love to see you guys in the morning. Happy Friday.
I wish I could see you guys. It would be more fun if I could see them.
Yeah, Sue, I'm glad the sun is shining there because it
Yeah.
was I was sliding there
Wait a minute,
yesterday.
Sue
Shining.
Smith?
Yeah.
It's not shining in Schenectady.
How come the sun's not shining here, Sue? Send it. Don't be
Send it
selfish.
to
Send it
us.
over here, because it has not shown.
Shown?
Shown.
Hasn't shown its face.
It's not shining here. Marlene, maybe this is alcohol. I don't
think
know.
she's drinking
And
again.
I wish you would make me some.
I think she's drinking.
You guys want to hear a funny story? Now that you say this, I used to work with this lady, and I'm not gonna. How do I say this nicely? She liked to drink. I mean, you know, she was familiar with alcohol, so it's not like alcohol was like a weird thing for her and her family. And her mom worked at a school, I think the high school or junior high. And one day she stopped at her mom's house and she said, "Mom, why is your bottle of Bailey's so low? Like, are you drinking every night?" She goes, "No, I put it in my coffee in the morning." She said, "You can't do that before you go to work." She goes, "Well, why not?" She did tell her it was alcohol. For some reason, her mother did not know that and thought it was creamer.
Oh no.
Gosh.
So she goes, I put like a little bit. And I was like, "You work in a school?" So, needless to say, Bailey's Irish Cream is alcohol. And that was your PSA for today, in case you didn't know. I do not have alcohol in either of my cups. I
And
don't.
it's snowing in Syracuse, Cheryl says. So, Cheryl,
It
keep
always
in
snows in
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
I know.
There,
Does it
Tug
ever
Hill.
stop, Cheryl? Well, this entire week, I don't know about you guys. Barb and Marlene are like 30, 40 minutes north of here.
Yep.
Every day this week, it's been snowing. Not a substantial amount, not accumulating, but you look outside and you're like, and there it goes again. Just that annoying, you get a dusting on your car, and it's just enough that...
Enough that
yesterday-
you're,
that you're like,
shoveling your
"Ugh."
driveway.
I was
and
out
Yes.
early in the
into
morning
ice.
up near Porter Corners, and it was slippery.
Yes.
I was sliding. You
Well-
know how your brakes go.
Yep. And my
Of
driveway
course,
is
we got
not
crazy driver
steep,
over here, too,
but my
so.
driveway has just enough of an incline that I get nervous going to get the mail, and I walk like I'm 90, and I shuffle my feet because I'm so afraid to fall. Okay, you guys don't care about
Clarify.
that.
Cindy wants to know if it's on YouTube. Tell her not yet.
What?
Your video.
This video?
Yeah.
No, because it's live right now. It
It's
will be
live.
on YouTube on Monday. Yes. Okay. Huh, good morning.
Now that
It's
we've
11:03.
rambled.
Let's get started. So,
Mom's on.
to answer Cindy's question, and
Did you live in the
I've said
Northeast?
this the past couple of weeks, I'll say it one more time, and I promise when January's over, I won't say it again. We are here on Facebook on Friday, every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, live, and then I upload this video to my YouTube channel on Mondays, the following Monday, usually early in the morning, around 8, 9 o'clock, because I start work at 7, so, because I work for my husband. That's all right. Listen, I love my
You
husband.
love it.
That is the only reason. And when I say work, I volunteer here. I don't get a paycheck. So I am a volunteer at FTR Truck and Auto, but the only reason I work here is because I love him. But some days, like the past week, have been trying on my last nerve because we've been busy, and sometimes people aren't very nice, as you may have experienced in this insane world that we live in. And I am the one that they are not nice to. So that's okay, because I just go home and ignore them. And I'm tripping
all.
on
Just smile.
something. I smile, and I'm quite passive aggressive, but we won't talk about that
Yeah.
today. So, good morning. So I have something to, I think I just spit on myself. I have something to let all of you
Shouldn't
know,
spit on us.
because
Thank
I didn't
God.
spit on you guys. Some of you are upset with me, and I don't want you to be upset with me. And I feel like I need to explain because those of you that are upset with me think that I hid something from you yesterday, and I did not. And I want to tell you what happened yesterday. And this, I say, all joking aside. No, this is a joke. Connie, it's all your fault. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Connie, it really is.
No, Connie, it's your fault. No, we love you. We're just kidding. So basically, what happened yesterday, I was explaining it to Barb and Marlene because they never know what I'm doing. They cannot control me. I am like a wild animal.
Yeah.
So Barb and Marlene are very neat and organized and like to try to make me neat and organized, and I fight them every step of the way, every day, all day. But sometimes they wear me down. And in the far back dark corner of our other office over there is a shelf that just kept piling up with ends of, not ends of bolts, but ends of collections. Tula Pink and Allison Glass and random bolts of things that didn't have a home and they didn't belong anywhere. And I kept saying, we will do a pop-up sale. We'll do a pop-up sale. But pop-up sales exhaust me, as I told you guys in November when we did our last one. I love them, you love them, but they do make me tired. And I am not ready for one right now because I've been preparing other things. We will get into all that. So they finally wore me down on Monday. And they said, what are we doing with all this fabric? And I said, fine, just cut it all into yards and we'll deal with it. Well, they don't like that answer because it wasn't a full answer. So Barb and Marlene decided that we were going to do something if they were cutting all the fabric. And I said, I've been playing with the idea of bundling it up. So Barb, I give you full credit. Barb is the one that said 5 for $25. Done. And I was like, okay, fine. So they put them all into piles, and I spent 2 days photographing them and putting them on the website. And my plan, as it always is, because you guys are sneaky, you're like internet sleuths.
Yeah.
You know things that I'm doing before anybody else does. I was like, I'm going to do it today and then let you guys know. But then yesterday, I just decided to upload the page thinking no one's going to pay attention because I'm not saying anything. We'll discuss it on Friday. Connie found the amazing bargains that we had and said something on the group, and I was like, well, I guess I have to address it now because now the word is out. And then when we got some new canvas in, I posted that and I said, oh, by the way, we have a pop-up sale page. So it was not a live pop-up sale. I promise. I did not do, we do a pop-up sale live. It is going to be here on a Friday. I promise you. There's no exceptions to that because it only makes sense because they're here on Fridays. It was not a live sale. It was just a page. The page is currently empty. So don't run to your computer and go look because there's nothing there.
And it's all out in the mail
It's
already.
all in the mail. Our mailman already came. So if you were lucky enough to grab a bundle or 5,
Yeah.
they're all out. They're
They're
in
on their way.
route. So my goal with that page, I don't want to say weekly, but we're going to try. We're going to try as much as we can to continually add stuff there. Because trust me when I say there's a lot of stuff. And if these two have it their way, I will not have anything left by the time we're done.
No.
Especially Marlene, who likes to
she
deep
throws-
clean.
she
She
throws
likes to
everything
get
out.
rid.
Get rid of it.
So we have an ongoing list of things that we will slowly put together. We will do more of the 5 for $25 bundles. We will put old fat quarters on there. We will put, I don't know, miscellaneous things on there.
Marlene,
It's
if
all
you need a clean
good.
out person,
It's-
we'll put Marlene
If,
up for sale.
if somebody
I love to
needs
throw
someone to throw things out at their house, we
I
will have
volunteer.
Marlene come over. She's good at it.
Just throw it away.
But it's going to be, I don't like the word clearance. I don't know why, but it feels sad. Like this is our clearance section. So the pop-up sale page is our version of a clearance section that just sounds nicer. So I can't guarantee when, I can't guarantee what or how much, but when we get it, we will throw it on there and I will
keep
let you
watching.
know. I will let you know, I promise. And I will try to let you know the day before and say, hey guys, check out the page tomorrow morning. I will try. This is what happens because you guys, you know everything that I do. I think some of you are stalking me outside my house. So don't be mad at me. And if you're mad at me, stop being mad at me. I'm sorry. It was not a real pop-up sale. So, Judy
She
Gordon.
wants you. She's
Who's
local.
mad at me?
No,
Oh.
Judy Gordon wants her to come over.
Please
and help her
come.
clean.
All right, if you want Marlene's
me a
phone
date and
number.
time.
She's local.
Give me a date and time, Judy.
Yes. What does your daughter call what you do? Swedish
No,
death
my
Swedish
son.
cleaning? Or your
Swedish
son?
death cleaning. You got to get rid of it because your heirs don't want it. So get rid of it now.
So every time I have a moment like at home and I go through and I clean stuff, I text Marlene. I'm like, guess what I did? Because she's the most proud of me of anybody when I tell her that I threw stuff out. No one else cares. They're like, great, good for you. Marlene's like, yes, good job. Like she's like a motivational speaker for hoarders. So, okay. So if you need Marlene, let us know. We'll send her your way.
Declutter.
She loves to throw stuff out.
But
Okay.
then- but then you got to understand, every once in a while she's looking for something, they can't
Then I
find
can't
it.
find it.
Throw it
because
out.
I
So
threw
she
it out.
threw it out.
That is the
Why did
problem.
I get rid of that?
That's the problem when you try to be clean. That's why I don't like to throw things out, but that's fine. It does feel good though, because we cleared out, I didn't do anything. 2 entire shelves gone, empty. The only thing left is my fabric, which I can't put that on the pop-ups. It's hard to let go. I made that, like it's mine. I
We can do
can't.
some of it.
So-
we don't have to cut the whole thing.
Next time Jess is out sick, we'll do it.
No,
go.
I'm never leaving again. I'm sleeping here. But the reason that we're also excited
Oh, I'm
that
gonna go to
we
Cleveland.
have
There you go.
2 shelves free is because.
Oh no.
Zippers.
Oh no, not. Oh, I wasn't
thank
even.
God.
I'm not going to say that word. We have 8. Yes, you heard me. 8 brand new corks coming. I don't know when.
Yeah.
I don't have a shipping date yet, but they came out with a new catalog and sent it over, which they usually do in the beginning of the year. And I was like, okay, I want everything. So there is some replenishment, there's a new color, and there's 7 new prints. And I'm so excited. So now we have a shelf for our cork.
So
And we have zippers coming.
Call them closures
Closures.
with holes. That way we don't have to, that zipper word has gotten to us.
Cover your ears.
The Z
We have
word.
The Z word.
we have Ipperzays coming.
There you go.
Okay. Uh, why do you watch us every Friday? I don't even understand why.
I have a bag question if you want to throw that
Oh,
in right
throw
now.
it out there. Let's do it. Because I am so off topic at this
I know.
point.
I mean, we're just random all over
Go
the place.
for it.
Cindy has a question, a quick question. On the Liana Bowler bag, do you put the fusion glue on the bottom of the bag cork pieces?
You can. Come here. So I usually, and I did not do it on any of these, so you will see some fraying. I usually use the fabric fusion on this part because the handles get so much wear and tear and it seals the edges. If you want to do it down here, you can. I don't think you would really need it as much because you're not going to get as much wear and tear. If you want to, just make sure you do it before you put the piece on and make sure it has adequate time to dry. But normally, like I made a bag for my mom for Christmas that had cork on it. I didn't do the bottom, I just did the handles for her. So it's a personal choice. If it was my choice, I would skip the bottom. Because I just don't think that you need it, but on the handles, it really does help. So that was a good question. Let's see, where am I?
They watch because we're such a fun group.
Fun / insane. So, all right, let's be professional now and start at the beginning.
Excuse me.
Like, follow, and share for notifications. And then if you get notifications, then you'll know when I have more things on the pop-up sale page, or if I'm actually planning a real pop-up, a live pop-up sale. If you're following on YouTube, click the notification bell, then you will know when this goes on the page, but usually it's on Mondays in the morning. I'm very excited about this. See, there's certain things that I like to organize. You organize differently. I organized all the videos on our Facebook
yeah.
page. That makes me happy. And actually, it was done last week and I forgot to tell you guys. But if you're looking for something specific, instead of having to scroll through all the lives, they're all in different categories. So there's hardware, there's zippers. They're staring at me. There's those closures that do this. There's a category of like Janome stuff. So if I've talked about my machines or when I was live on their page. So if you look on our page and you click on the videos tab, which is always different depending on what device you're on, it's usually towards the top. Click on videos and scroll down a little bit. There's different categories. So then if you're looking for something specific, because I seem to get asked about the same videos over and over again. You know, do you have an interfacing video? Do you have a video on putting zipper pulls on? So now they're all categorized. So, and I will be doing that for Log Cabin as well if you watch their videos on Facebook, which we did one yesterday. So I like to organize that stuff. I'm more tech organized than I am. Yeah.
We'll agree.
Yeah,
We will
they know.
definitely
They know.
agree. When she was left to her own devices for a couple of months in the beginning of 2010,
That's just mean.
2020.
2010. Do
20.
tell us more.
2020, we came back to a lovely location.
Don't start.
Go ahead, do that again, Mark.
Hi. My husband's here, and he's staring at me around the corner
Eric.
like our dog
Hi.
does. Do you need something? Because I'm
say
talking to my
hi.
friends right now.
You can say hi to our friends.
Hi.
Hi. Do you need me? Because
No.
okay. Then can you go back out there?
All right.
Okay.
Bye, Eric.
Bye, honey.
Lovely seeing you.
Our virtual classes are filling up. I'm very excited. I
Did
think
you
it's
sign
going to
up
be
about me?
so much fun.
Did you
You
not
said
do
something
that?
about her. I don't know what though. Oh, is that not what you asked?
What'd she say?
Never mind.
She asked me if I signed up for a class without her.
Oh,
She knows we're going.
I don't know what's
I don't know
happening.
when I'm going.
Well, don't
You
worry
did-
about it. I'll tell
okay.
you.
We got you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Classes are filling up, so if you're interested, go onto the virtual class page. All of the things that I discussed in last week's video, in case you missed it, are written at the top of the page. If you have any questions, contact me. I'm very, very excited. We have a beginner class in March. So if you have not made a bag yet, if you've been watching videos and kind of hesitant because you don't know where to start, we're going to make the Taurus tote bag.
It's an awesome bag.
It is. Would you grab me one? There's actually, I can see one there, or if you can see one somewhere else. So I wanted to do a beginner, like right over in the corner. There's a beginner, basic. You don't have to.
Do you know what it looks like?
It looks like.
You've
I
only
think
made
somebody
like
was
5
coming
of them.
in, that's
So,
why I jumped.
I wanted to just show you guys this. So we already have some signups. So this is my favorite beginner bag because it's nice and easy. There's 8 pieces of fabric. You don't have to do cork. I did on this one. You don't. You can do all cotton. You can do it out of whatever you want. I have base kits for that and the other ones, and the base kit just gives you your interfacing hardware. If there's zippers, you get to choose whatever color you want. But if you want to do this, we also have complete Taurus tote bag kits on the website if you want everything picked out for you. So I thought that would be really fun because I know a couple of you still haven't jumped into bag making, but you're watching for a reason, so you must want to make a bag. And then we have other classes all lined up through May. One quick thing, and nobody had signed up for them yet. I had to take down the Saturday May classes temporarily. My little sister is graduating from college, and we have no idea if we're going to a ceremony, watching a Zoom. We don't know how it works, but my sister, and she's not watching, so I can say whatever I want about her. She's spoiled, and she said, even if you only watch it like on a website, I still want you guys to come to Ohio. But she also has no idea when her graduation is. She thinks she knows, but she's not sure. So I took those down temporarily until she gets back to me, and I know when I need to go to Ohio. And then I will put the weekends back up in May. So if you were wondering where they went, they're not sold out. They're just down for the moment. We do have a Tuesday May class that we already have signups for. That's not going anywhere because I won't be gone on a Tuesday. So before we get into today's fun topic, we got some new stuff, and this is what I posted yesterday, but I just wanted to show you. I love these. I'm so excited that these came in. These are new, but they're not new. They were printed a few years ago. I don't remember when this collection originally came out, but these are reprints. It was from Wildwood, and so there's the pink and the blue version, and I have 2 projects out of them. Some of their bigger canvases sometimes can be hard on little things, like this. This is a little mini diva. Actually, let me open it. And so sometimes some of the bigger canvases don't work as well. So I like this if you want a floral print. It works nicely on small bags. So I have had these 2 samples done, and every time somebody sees it, they ask for the fabric, and I have to tell them we don't have it because they don't make it, but they reprinted it. And this morning, literally 10 minutes before we went on, we got a new Robert Kaufman seafoam, and actually it works nicely with
It
these.
does.
It's not an exact match, but that's
No, but
okay.
it blends well with
But
it.
it blends well. Last week we got the aqua, and I do have the aqua
My
right here.
favorite.
The aqua up is a little bluer, a little tiny bit lighter. The seafoam's a little greener. But we have quite the collection.
Mhm.
And whoever watched the YouTube video, I don't know if it was Cindy or somebody else on YouTube, and cracked up at me saying plam, because I didn't know what a plam was last week. I'm glad I could make you laugh. Plam and pickle, or palm as it's actually called, are not here yet, but they will be here soon. So
I think you should put it on the website.
I might
as
put it on as
plan.
plam just because
Plam.
it still makes me laugh. So what I want to talk about for, in the upcoming weeks, and it's probably not going to be every week, but kind of dispersed throughout. Like I said, we have some more beginners watching. A lot of you, even if you've made bags sometimes can still be weird. They're weird when you're in the process of making them because they just don't look the way that you think they should look. So I want to talk about some of the ins and outs about making a bag and why it looks bizarre. And so as we go along, as we go along, if there's something that you're like, I don't understand why this looks this way, let me know if there's something else you want to cover. Today we're going to talk about some ironing tips and some of the finishing steps. Yes.
They would like you to show the bag and the Mini Diva wallet again.
Yes.
Here it comes, girls.
Hold on. Here it is, closed, and then
Isn't that
open so you can see the
pretty?
print. And I did use it inside too.
Very pretty.
Yes. And yes, I used rose gold because I love the rose gold. And funny story about rose gold, these two don't like rose gold. It's not their favorite. But I'm working on a bag right now. You might have seen some of the sneak peeks of the embroidery I was doing last weekend. And I said to them, I want too many different colors to go with this. I don't know which one to narrow it down to. They helped me pick out a cork that we all agreed on because Marlene would like it, but Barb would like another one, but I would like another one. We finally picked one.
Yep.
And we landed on rose gold hardware, which blew my mind
Yeah.
because they don't love
'Cause we
rose
picked it
gold.
out, you
Because
didn't.
they picked it out and they
Yeah.
don't even like rose gold. So,
Judy would like to know, is the Robert Kaufman a canvas? And if so, is it as heavy as the prints?
that's a good question. So no, the Robert Kaufman right now, everything Robert Kaufman on our website is the Essex linen. So it's a linen cotton blend. It's very, very soft. It's kind of a looser weave. You can see here, you get a little bit of the fraying because it's actually a yarn dyed. So because it's a linen cotton blend, it's a little softer. It's about the same weight as a quilter's cotton. I love it on the inside of bags. Robert Kaufman canvas will be coming in the next couple of weeks. We ordered some of their canvases, which are the same weight as the Rifle Paper Company canvas. So it's going to be this same weight, which is a little bit heavier than your quilter's cotton. Still works the same, still adheres to interfacing fine, works for handles and all that. That will be coming shortly as soon as it's in stock. And those will be Essex canvases. What we have now are Essex yarn dyed or Essex linens. So it's a blend. I love it, Marlene. I think you both use it
I
for
used it,
linings.
yes.
Yeah, it's an awesome
Nice.
lining, and I mean you can use it on the outside too. But it's just I don't like solids. They don't appeal to me. And this, even though it reads as a solid, and you probably see it as a solid, because it's yarn dyed, you get that little bit of speckling, and I don't know what they call these little. You get some of those little nubbies. Sometimes I love that
That's what
because
they
it just
call
gives you like a texture. It's called a
Nubbies.
little nubby. It's a professional term. So what's on the website now is linen cotton, and what's coming is canvas. And I hate to say this again, but I'm going to say it one more time, and then I'm not going to talk about it anymore. We are at the mercy of shipping still. We cannot control the post office. We can't control the manufacturers. We have tons of stuff on order. When it gets here, it gets here. We all hope for the best. Somebody emailed me yesterday about Decoville. We have 10 bolts on order. We have no idea when it's coming. It's kind of a surprise. It just shows up.
It is,
The
yeah.
canvas is on order. I have fabric from Robert Kaufman that was supposed to ship in December. That is now shipping maybe in February. I have no idea. I get what I get when I get it, and if we go forward. So
When we get it, you get it.
when we get it, you get it. We let us be here for you. Okay, so what I have here, because I want to talk about this a little bit. Now, I have gotten some emails from you guys from like December, the beginning of January, with some topic ideas. And somebody sent me this idea, and I am so sorry. I must have deleted your email. The email stuck out in my mind, but I cannot find your email. So if it's you and you're watching, this video is for you. I cannot remember who it was. So it was, I don't think it was one of our regulars, but I could be wrong. Some people watch every week and don't comment, so I don't know that they're there. So one of the things that somebody had asked me about is tips on the, I don't want to say it that way, the birthing process. Tips on turning your bag and how you get it to look nice. Because it's such a hard thing with fusible interfacings when you turn them. And I'm not even talking about just adhering them, because we've talked about that a lot. I have a video on that I just did a couple weeks ago. But when you're done with your bag and it's inside out and you turn it, how do you get rid of all those wrinkles inside and outside and make your bag look pretty? So I'm gonna take you to the ironing board in a little bit, and I'm gonna show you some tips on that. But what I wanted to talk about first was the process of making a bag. When you get into some, and I took this bag apart, so there's threads everywhere. When you get into the part of the bag where you have finished your outside and finished your lining, and it's time to put them together, because it's still, it's weird. Bags are weird. There is, and Barb and Marlene know, and they've made bags, and some of you have not made bags, and some of you are newer to making bags. And trust me, I've had these questions, so you are not alone. If you're still unsure, ask me. Bags look weird so many steps of the way, and you doubt yourself.
The person has been identified.
Yay! Thank you.
Christina Davidson.
Thank you, Christina. I'm sorry. I don't know where. I'm going to find your email now that I know who it was. I was like, where is this email? I know I have it. Barb's going to write it down for me, because I swore I kept it. I'm sorry. Thank you, Christina, for letting me know. So this video is for you. It's dedicated to you. So we've talked about this. I've talked about I talked about this with people via email. I've talked about this with people at shows. We've talked about it in the group. As you're going along and making a bag, there's usually, especially when you're brand new, but even when you've done it, I've made bags for a long time. There's still things that I'm like, is that gonna work? I don't think that's gonna work, and then it works. You always have that moment where you're like, this is not right. She said this, but it can't be right. And the biggest example is doing a recessed zipper. If you haven't watched it already, I have a tutorial on YouTube about how to put in a recessed zipper. I use them in my bags a lot. There's one in this one. But that is one of the prime examples, because as you're making it, you're going, this is wrong. She said something wrong in the pattern. It's got to be a typo. It's not going to work. And then you get done and it works. And there's always that panic moment. I see it every time I teach, where you believe me until you get to the point and you go, see, I told you it was upside down. It's not going to work. And it still works. So I wanted to look at both the inside and the outside and talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to go to the ironing board. So when I'm looking at this is my lining, okay? And this one has been around, it's been taken apart, so it's a mess, don't worry about it. When I'm looking at the lining, I haven't turned this right side out yet, because if I'm finishing my bag, I'm gonna keep the lining like this. But our brain says, no, we need to turn it right side out. We have to look at it that way. Well, you can turn it right side out, but this will not help you for finishing steps. Especially when you're doing my turn style of bags. If you're doing a drop lining, totally different subject, not what we're talking about today. But if you turn this and try to put this together with this, you won't be happy in the end, I promise you. So what happens a lot is that just makes sense. And our brain says, well, it has to be right side out. We have to see what it looks like to finish the bag. And it's hard to believe that you don't want to see the pretty side of it. But I think a lot of us are quilters. Some of you might even make clothing. I don't. But from what I remember about clothing and quilting, it's been a while since I made a quilt. It's the same process. If it's right sides together, it's going to be right side out when it's finished. You're going to get rid of the seams. You're going to hide all the yucky parts. So when it comes to your lining, what you see while you're working on it, even all the way up to the zipper, it looks good, but you have to turn it this way. You have to turn it wrong side out to do a turnstile bag. And I know it looks bizarre. And I'm gonna zip this up. the recess zipper. So now that my lining is done and I look at the recess zipper, that looks right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're making it and it's flat, you think that when you're looking from the inside up, like if I was looking from here out, you think the zipper is upside down because the pull is facing up instead of in. And that's one of those weird things that it's hard to get past until you've done it and until you trust me. You have to just trust me. Sometimes I will not steer you in the wrong direction.
It's all about trust.
There's a lot of trust in bag making. And if you haven't watched the video, or even if you have watched it, go watch it again and you will understand why I say just trust me. Just trust me. So this is my lining. My lining is all set. I've done my pockets. Everything is ugly, but that's how it's supposed to be. I have my hole in the bottom. I'm ready for turning. My lining is done. So let's look at the outside, because sometimes, and I've had a couple of questions on other patterns. Somebody was working on one of the wallets and wanted to add a hook to it. A little hook that you could hook on a bag or on your belt or wherever. When you're looking at the outside of the bag and you want something outside when you're done, this is where it needs to go. So if you put something in here, you don't see it when it's all done. It's gone. It's in the bag. When you put something in the lining, it's going to be in the lining. So if we were adding a hook and we put the hook here on the outside, it's fuzzy. It's going to be on the outside when it's done. If you put it on a lining piece, it's going to be inside the bag when it's done. So anything that you want to see visually when you look at this finished bag has to be sewn on the outside. And what I was doing a different demo. So this one has the hardware on, and it doesn't have a handle on one side. But when I put this hardware on, I've had people, and it always makes me laugh, when I would be at a show and they would look at this hardware, ask how it went on, and they would look in the bag and go, but I don't see it. That's the point. We don't want to see it. So anything that happens here, that's in here, will be hidden. And so when you're looking at these two pieces, and it's time to put these together, there is always somebody in a class that thinks I'm saying it wrong and doesn't think it's going to work. I have to put these right sides together, like this. This has to go in here. That's why there's a hole in the lining. And you see how this is right sides together now? So now when I sew that, I don't see anything. I don't see my handles. I don't see any of my outside. I don't see anything that looks pretty. But that's when we turn it. So it's just like in quilting, where it has to be right sides together. And this applies to not only, this is the finishing steps of this bag, but if you're doing a zipper, like on the Alice bag on the outside, or if you're doing a zippered pocket, everything has to have a right and a wrong side, and whatever you do on the right side, that's the good side. So I know a lot of you have made bags, you understand this already, but I wanted to reach out to anybody that's a little bit newer, or that still, has only made a few bags and isn't quite sure about why they look the way that they look. So my rule of thumb, and I always remind myself of this, if it belongs on the outside, it gets sewn on the outside. If it's part of the lining, it gets sewn to the lining. And if it's touching the interfacing, I'm not going to see it.
I know that's not sewn together, but what she was wondering, is there any way you can kind of show them how you birth it?
It's right here.
Oh,
it's
okay.
all ready to go.
Okay, because that's what she wants to
Yes.
see too.
Yep. So I'm going to turn this one, and then I'm going to go over to the ironing board. So one of the other things, I have a very, very dear friend. She's a friend of all of ours. Pat, I love her to pieces. I don't know if she's watching or not. Pat has told me for years, somebody's calling me and they don't understand that I don't care right now.
Exactly.
So Pat has told me for years that she is bag challenged. Her words. And we've made bags together. We actually sat down in this office and sewed her first bag together. She does an amazing job. But there's always one part where she'll get a little caught up, and I think we all do that, where we're going, and we get to one step and we're like, is this right? Is this what I want? And I was helping her the other day because she had finished her bag, her outside, and she put her handle here. Because, and I've done this myself, I did this on my very first bag. For some reason that made sense to put it in here. And she said, I didn't even want to show you because I was so mad and embarrassed. But look, my handle is in the bag, not in the lining, inside in the ugly part. So if it touches here, if it's on here, We don't want, then we're not going to see it. So the handles always go on the outside. And I have this one off because I was doing something, but also I've had people in classes ask me if they can put this hardware on and then not put the handle on until they've turned the bag and like do it at the end. Absolutely, you can. Once the bag is turned right side out, you can do whatever you want to it. And sewing the handles on, I like to do it here and then finish my bag because it makes sense to me, and I feel like then I don't have to worry about forgetting it, and I usually have the color thread on that I want. But if you find it easier to get them out of your way, put on your hardware and just keep on going and add your handle later, that's fine. So just want to talk about that. So now, live on camera, I'm going to
have a
birth
birth.
bag.
Oh no.
Can we please come up
Can
with
we
a new
name the
word for
birth?
that? I have never birthed anything, and I have no plans to, and I really just don't. I don't want to say it anymore.
But
So
you've done it quite often.
I've birthed a lot of bags, not humans, but bags. So let's just say that.
Let's see. Yvonne says, so when you want the inside of the zipper in the lining to show up on the back, you know, when you one up your bag and you see the zipper pocket on the back of the lining, I often do it backwards.
Do you mean like when you open? Hold on. What
The
has?
zipper in the lining to show up on the back.
Yes, I think I know what you're asking,
My
Yvonne.
zipper is in the lining always ends up towards the front.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean.
Oh,
Okay,
You do.
so
That's why she's the pro. And I'm not. That's why
So-
Marlene and I don't teach classes.
when when you're putting your bag together, okay, so I have this Lola, so I've got my outside done, and then I have my lining separate. And so when I'm putting this together, my zipper is in what I call the back. This bag doesn't really have a front and a back, but I put the handmade tag on, so I call that the back. When you put these together, and this one has a zipper pocket right here. So if I want this handmade tag to be the front and I want this zipper in the back, then yes, you're gonna do it just like this. If you put the handmade tag, the front, towards the zipper, then it's going to be behind the handmade tag. So front is here, back is here, so the back is facing me. So yes, you're gonna do it just the way that you want it to come out. And that's an easy thing because to kind of confuse yourself because you think, well, I'm gonna turn it, but when you turn it,
You're back.
when you turn it, these peaches,
Mm.
these are attached. This part of the outside and this part of the lining, they're always gonna stay on the same side. So if you're attaching those two pieces, then that's where your zipper is going to end up. So if you have a front, you want the zipper in the back, the zipper should be on that side.
That's
Is that
exactly what she was asking.
Yay, awesome. Okay, I'm glad that made sense. Sometimes I have a lot of words and they don't make sense. Ask the people I talk to about
Aw.
mechanical things. So,
Your husband, I gotta tell you this one. He just said, honey, you're so talented. I keep you inspired. LOL.
my husband,
Eric
yeah,
is crazy.
Eric is seriously,
Uh-huh.
but we love him.
We do.
So, okay, so I made this. It's not like a real bag. There's no handles. It's just sewn together because I wanted to show you the
birthing
birthing
view.
process, but I also wanted to show you some pressing tips and how I use the clappers to get in the corners. So my outside is a purple and pink fabric. My inside is pink. I have my hole down here in the bottom of the lining. Let's talk about that because I see people a lot leave this opening like this. My hand won't fit in there, so that's not big enough. I have big hands. I leave a hole that I can fit my entire hand into. Now, if you don't like how that looks, because I know my stitching on the lining is never great, but it's on the bottom. So like it doesn't bother me because my stuff is gonna go on top of it. Some people, it bothers them. I had a very sweet girl in one of my classes hand stitch her lining because it bothers her. That's fine. You do what you wanna do. I machine stitch it because I want to be done with it. But if it bothers you, if you've done the Lola pattern, which has a divider in the middle, so there was a reason why I did this, but you can use this technique in anything. You can leave an opening in the zippered pocket instead. If you want to close this and leave an opening in this and turn it through the zippered pocket, you can absolutely do it that way. It's how I did the Lola pattern. There was a reason for it, but also you don't even have to have a reason if you just don't want a hole in the bottom. So again, I always leave the hole in the lining, because if I leave it on the outside, I'm gonna see it. If I leave it on the lining, it goes away and I don't see it. So I leave a big opening. If I have corners or darts, whatever I have, I make sure that I get past those enough. I don't want to interfere with the corner. And we're gonna talk about corners and darts in another video. This one has darts. I make sure that my stitching goes past that. I don't want to interfere with that seam lining up, and I don't want to have to fuss with that with my machine. So I make sure that I'm past that area. Maybe I should have a drink. I'm about an inch or so past the corner, but this opening I can fit my entire hand into. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you always backstitch
Yes,
at the end of the opening?
always. Thank you, Barb. Always backstitch here.
Otherwise
There
it
are
comes-
some times that you're gonna rip it because it happens. You don't mean to be rough, but you are, or the opening was big enough for your hand, but your bag is stiff because it has layers of cork and heavy metal hardware and different things in it. It has extra layers of interfacing, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you'll rip it. I don't care. That, again, does not bother me. As long as I don't rip the fabric, but even so, I can always hide that. You can
on the
always
inside.
hide the inside. And you put your wallet on top and no one sees it anyway. So I leave this big opening, I backstitch here, so I hopefully don't rip it. And then I just get in here, and again, this is gonna be an easy turn because all I have is fabric and interfacing. If we're talking about bags like this that have a long, stiff washer from a piece of hardware, they're cork, they're layered with fleece, they're gonna take a little bit more time to turn. You don't have to turn it all at once. You can take your time, and I'm rolling the lining up and taking my time. Sometimes you get so excited to see it, and then you get frustrated because you're like, it won't turn. Don't turn the whole thing at one time. From what I've been told, that's not how babies are born either. They don't just come ripping out. You gotta take your time. And I could be
sure
wrong.
don't come ripping
I
out.
could be wrong. Marlene, you can tell me. And everybody just stopped watching. So, at least I cracked myself up. My husband right now is probably cringing.
He'll be coming through the door any
Sorry.
minute.
He's like, don't say stuff like that on Facebook, you weirdo. So, okay.
Look how pretty that looks.
Well, and listen, I was at home doing this, trying to make it wrinkle as much as, like, I was ironing wrinkles in, because it's just like when you take your car to the mechanic and it makes a noise, and when you get there, it doesn't make the noise. I wanted this to be such a mess so I could show you guys, and of course it's not. I don't know why. I don't know why it won't wrinkle for me the way it wrinkles for everybody else so that I can show you. So anyway, I'm gonna do my best here. So here's my outside.
That's because you're the queen of fusing, so
know.
nothing came apart.
Listen,
Unlike the rest of us.
I don't keep secrets. I told you guys how I fuse everything, I promise. I don't keep secrets. So this is my outside, even though it doesn't look like much. So my outside is done. I always check and make sure that it's actually sewn, that I haven't left any holes, that nothing is weird. And at this point, if I can't see my handles, but I can see them in here, it's time to get out the seam ripper. It's time to turn it again and get out the seam ripper. So what I should see right now on here is everything that I want on the outside. And the lining should have all the pockets and doodads and all the stuff that I want. I poke out my corners, because the better you do that now, the happier you will be. If you leave these kind of messy, it's not gonna look good. Get your fingers in there, get your 4-in-1 tool, poke them out. And then what I do, I will show you my pressing tips. I'm gonna take the camera over because last time Barb blinded me with the flash by accident. I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna show you a couple of my tips for putting this inside and how I get rid of any wrinkles. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the camera, hang on. You lost your privilege, you can't do it now because you blind me. It was
I put her in the
It was
spotlight.
completely by accident, but it still hurt my eyeballs.
It was yeah, you're in the spotlight.
I was in the spotlight, that is for sure. Okay, so there we go. Warm up my iron. All right, Barb, how do I look from your point of view?
Can't see you.
That's fine. All
I
right,
can
so
see your bag.
can you see the bag?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not gonna get into all the like pressing tips like the fusing. We've already talked about that, and we can talk about it again, but we're not gonna talk about that today. So a couple of the things that I have. I am using my pressing board. This is from TNT Quilt Boards. I have, linked them for you before. If you want this again, I will link them. This is just a little portable board that I use. My wool mats are here. I will tell you, I have not been using them as much, and this is why. Something changed in the formula of Decor Bond, and you can attest to this because you've been cutting it. And for some reason, sometimes on my wool mat, it's actually making more wrinkles, even though it never used to do that. I think Decor Bond's gotten a little bit thinner, and so it's not liking the wool mat as much. So I've been using this more, and this is fairly firm. I don't know what she uses for the padding, but it's minimal. It's actually pretty hard, and I think I get a better, I get less wrinkles and better pressing here. I have my clappers. I'll show you how I use those inside. I have a water bottle just in case I get like a big wrinkle. I have the water on the iron, but I have this. You can grab Best Press. I do not have any Best Press at the moment. So one of the things that I do a lot before I finish this up, you know, I can take this over to the machine and I can, you know, do that sewing and get that closed. But before I turn this entire thing all the way into the outside, what I actually like to do is grab this seam right here like this. And I'm not turning, I'm just kind of turning that top edge like that. Because if I work this seam, this is like, for me, the most important part of the bag because this is my final bit of top stitching. I want that edge to be perfect. I don't want anything sticking up. If this is cork and it's a little stiffer, I can use my binding clips along the edge to hold it. But I like to run my hand across here and work that seam before I do anything else. Just by finger pressing it, I find that it looks neater when it's all done. I've closed this, we're gonna pretend, and now that I have that done, and I can press it, I can put it on the edge of the board and press, and sometimes I will, depending on the interfacing. Now that I have that kind of smoothed out and it looks the way I want, I can add binding clips if I need to. Now I will tuck this inside, and I just find that I get a much neater bag when it's done because this top edge is now as perfect as it can be. So again, I don't have a ton of wrinkles here. Guys, I tried, I really tried. But what I do when I'm pressing, I start on the lining because the lining is it's not gonna stay neat once I start putting stuff in there. But I take my iron and I get right inside and I take it right to the corner and I hit it with some steam. And I take my time around this edge. I get right in there, and if I have a bag that's kind of small or if I can't get in there, that's when I use my pressing clappers. So I'll take them and put them right inside.
Oh, you put them inside.
I put them inside because once I put this here, I don't have a sleeve board, and sometimes the pointed end of the ironing board won't go in if it's a small bag. Now I can take this and I can iron right on the wood, and that's how I get a really nice, neat corner. So,
because I have a square ironing board or a rectangular ironing board.
right.
No point.
So there's my corner with the clapper. There's the one without it, and then I can put it right down at the bottom, like that.
That looks so pretty.
See, and it looks so much neater. And so now if I have, let's say I have a ton of wrinkles right here from manipulating the bag and turning it. If you have the type of ironing board where you can put it on the edge, do that. If you don't, again, try using the clapper. And what I'll do is take my time here, steam that and smooth it out, and then take, get out of there, the other clapper and smooth where I need to.
Yvonne Thompson wants you to zoom in. Zoom in.
Zoom in. Can you zoom in? Can we zoom in?
You should be able to. Hang on. Usually,
Where it is. Oh,
if we
okay.
just do
Okay, we can do by
that.
finger. Okay.
Am I better over here? Is that good?
That's good.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'll do that again. So let me do my corners. I've got some wrinkles over here. So I'm gonna use my pressing clapper inside. I push it right into the corner. I use my iron because I can iron on the wood. It's not going to hurt anything. That's what the pressing clappers are for. And if I get, oh shoot, I've got a wrinkle.
I was going to say,
Now
you've got a wrinkle. I can see it.
I can take this and I can smooth that out. And
a little
I can
to your right.
to this right. See, you see it differently
I
than
can
I
see
do.
it.
So
That way. Well, what I'm looking at is that way.
over here, see, I can't
Yeah.
see it. But I can take this
Right
down on the
above your finger,
bottom.
straight all the way down. Right. Yep. Down, 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 down. Right in there.
It's gone. So
No, it's not. I can see it.
I
Okay,
just
it's gone
keep
now.
pressing and
gone
then
now.
smooth. No, I'm not telling you you have to have two pressing clappers, but if you do, there's a reason why, and you can use them both together. If you only have one pressing clapper, you can use this on the end of your ironing board if it fits, and then you can just use this here, but that's how I use these inside. So I use my pressing clapper for putting my decor bond on. I use my pressing clapper for ironing my corners and ironing my edges. And now, because I turned those first, you see how nice and neat? My seam is right up along that top edge. It's ready for me to go ahead and top stitch. So, and then you can do the edges too. And if you need to get in here, you know, you can press, you know, watch the steam on your fingers. It doesn't feel good no matter how many times I do it. And then if I find that I have extra wrinkles in the lining, I don't turn it so that the lining is out and iron it, because then I have to, again, press the outside. I worry about the outside. I do the best I can on the lining, and unless it's like a big, ugly wrinkle, I'm just gonna ignore it because it's in the lining. As long as my top edge is neat, and this one has some wrinkles down here, so I'll just use a little bit of steam, iron, and then I just use my clapper, again, to smooth those out. And there's my lining. So I hope that helps to answer some of your pressing questions. The bottom down here,
Yeah, how about the bottom?
well, let's pretend I didn't already iron this because now I'm making a mess. You can start with the bottom and you can, again, use your clapper or use the edge of your ironing surface and then just keep working your way around.
Have you ever done it to do the bottom? Can I show you what I've done?
Yeah, show me.
Take the thing out.
Okay.
Gone like this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you
Press
can
it.
do that too. You're
When
going
you
to
first
get a
start.
line, but it's
But
going
then
to be
you
on the
can get-
bottom
yeah.
anyway. So yeah, with a box corner,
Yeah.
you can do that. It's going to help it stand up a little bit more. So yeah, absolutely. Everybody has a different technique. And now that I did that, I put a little bit of a wrinkle in.
Ah, look at that. There was a purpose. for
There's
my
always a
question.
purpose. All right. And smooth. And if I find that I have just so, because certain fabrics will wrinkle more than others. If I have a ton of wrinkles, I can just open the bottle. Just spray. Just dampen it.
Good thing I just had my nails done.
That was the only reason she wanted her hand in camera. Do you see my nails?
My nails. Not
So,
even in the picture.
I always use my clappers. I always use steam. I use Best Press when I have it. Most of the time I have no idea where it is. And I use a hard ironing surface. Check your ironing surface. If you have recovered yours a lot, or if you bought a padded cover from Target or Walmart, sometimes they're too squishy. And squishy is not good. And I've seen tips where people use a towel. You're adding more squish factor. You're making it so that you can't get you need a hard surface to
Yep.
get a good press. So I'm gonna come back over. I'm gonna zoom back out.
I'm not going to touch it.
So,
You were blind. You were
no blinding me. All right, hang on guys, cover your eyes for a minute.
Oh, no.
Okay. And, oh, done. Okay. So, and yes, absolutely, you can iron your cork. So yes, I was ironing something that was cotton, but 100% you can iron your cork. Here's a few things to know about that. Of course, oh, can you grab me Unicorn Tears? I can see it
Except
right
that
there.
one.
Yep. It's kind of in the middle next to the green. I can see it. Yep, your hand's on it. So, on this, this bag has the salmon color on the bottom. You better believe I ironed it the same exact way. I interfaced it. It's a little bit stiff because it's a tote bag. I wanted it to have some, some stiffness, and I ironed it. But let's say you have something like this, not the regular metallics, not something like this where it's embedded, but something like this where it's an overlay, and you can feel them because they feel like vinyl. They have like that sticky kind of a feel to it. This you will ruin if you put an iron on it, but you can use a pressing cloth. That's totally fine. It's not an issue. But don't put your hot iron on this cork. Yes.
Charlie would like to know, can you press vinyl on cork?
Press a vinyl, do you mean vinyl or cork or vinyl on cork? Because I have, and there's a couple of ways I can answer this, and then maybe you'll tell me which one works for you. I have used my Cricut machine and cut out a fusible vinyl decal, and I ironed it onto a piece of cork. So yes, you can do that. If you are ironing vinyl on a bag, like if this was vinyl, treat it like this. Use a pressing cloth. Try not to put a hot iron. You're going to ruin it. Same with leather. I know that the cork that we sell, the solid colors and the ones that have metallic kind of built in are absolutely fine. This and anything in the vinyl category, I would say don't put a hot iron on unless you have a pressing cloth. So I hope one of those answers helped you. Sometimes it's hard to know, but I will give you all the answers that I have. So,
Like the plastic for inside a cork bag.
I don't use any kind of plastic inside. If you mean like a clear vinyl, like if you were doing like a see-through pocket, I would also not iron directly on that. If you were ironing on the outside and that was on the inside, I don't think that would hurt it at all. I just would not put a hot iron on anything plastic or plastic-like, or that feels like a plastic. So this is Barb's favorite cork.
Oh.
She loves this one. She makes everything out of this cork.
That's definitely not true.
Well, and one thing about this one, before we had our other office, when we used to have the cork on shelves, we didn't have enough shelves and they would be stacked. This one, you couldn't get out unless it was on top because it would stick to the other one.
To
So if you're using any kind of material that sticks to something else, don't put an iron on it.
Yeah.
Because you will
There you
make it
go.
melt. So that's, if it sticks, it will melt.
There you go. Perfect.
So I think, do you have any other questions? Anything else
No.
you can think of?
No.
I hope that helped to answer some
Actually,
of your
there is
questions.
one comment
Oh,
that Christina,
yes,
made.
Christina, did I
Christina.
do a good job for
she
you?
said you're the first bag maker to show this in detail.
Yay!
Yay!
I hope it helped you. Christina, when I got your email, I thought to myself, awesome topic. Definitely have to do it. Man, I hope I answer all her questions because it is, as the bag pattern designer, you think, well, that's just a simple thing. But it's not to everybody. Just like a lot of the other things. Like I can tell you, go make handles. But if
Yeah.
you've never made them, you don't know
Yeah.
where to start. So I am happy to answer any questions. If you think of more things, I don't know what we're doing for next week, but as the weeks go on, I do want to talk more about some of the details, and the things that can kind of throw you off. I want to talk about putting zippers in a little bit more, maybe break some more needles on camera. That was fun. Actually, I think I was wearing this sweater when I did it, as weird as that is that I remember. I
You
want
are
to
really
talk
weird.
about box corners and gussets and darts, like what the difference is and how you know what you want. Some of you like to kind of design your own bags and make things up as you go. So I'm hoping that this will appeal to a lot of you and we can talk about some of the ins and outs. One other quick thing, but I forgot to show you guys. This is the end of a bolt of Decor Bond. And a lot of you might think, is that even usable? Because man, that's a giant mess. Yes, absolutely, you can use this. Don't worry about it. Wrinkles are wrinkles. They will go away. The more wrinkles you have, the more likely you are to see them on your fabric. But if you go into that little category of videos that I have and look at the interfacing category, I did a quick video on how I get rid of some of these wrinkles, because if I get rid of them first, I'm not transferring them to the fabric. So check that out too. Is there any other questions?
Just,
Yeah.
do you have a list of items needed for the bags for the classes?
If
that
you
on?
are signing up for a class, when you click on that class, it's not going to give you a breakdown of what you need, but it's going to tell you, it will tell you on the back of the pattern, and it's going to tell you in the description what you need to prepare ahead of time. So when you get your pattern, if you're taking the Liana bag and you get your pattern, on the back here, you're going to need all your listed supplies just like you're making it at home. And then you're going to look on the description and it's going to say complete this step, cut this, do this. I am not having you do anything difficult. I'm having you cut, fuse, get your templates ready, and prepare your handles. Because preparing handles is so fussy and takes forever, and we don't need to watch each other sew that. We'll do hardware and all the other stuff together. But each class has information, and contact me. Email me if you're not sure.
Katie wants to know if any of the classes have sold out.
Not yet. Nope. We still have openings in all the classes as far as I know. So, and also I forgot to write this on the website. I think I mentioned this a while ago. If there's a group of you that want to take a class together, just email me and give me some information. You know, there's 3 of us. We all want to make this bag. Can we set up a virtual class? And I can set that up so you can have a little private class, and we can do the same thing. I can, do that for you. And if there's something you don't see that I didn't put on there, because it's hard to just start throwing classes out there when you haven't done them. And I don't know what everybody wants. I tried to start with newer stuff. If there's something that, you've always wanted to make and you didn't see a class for it, let me know. I'll put it out there. I'm sure you're not the only one that wants to make it.
Yvonne says this is not a pressing question, but can you give us a close-up of the pretty bag you just made? Sorry, don't know the name of the pattern. I'm not sure if she means the one you've been demoing.
The one I just demoed? Or... Oh, wait, you don't mean the one that I was embroidering, do you? Because that one's not done. I will show you whatever you want.
You just made. Yeah. Yvonne, can you tell me which?
Yeah, grab that. This little thing?
The little?
This? It's hard to...
Yes, the demo.
Oh, okay. This is literally 4 pieces of fabric that I don't even know what size they were because I just cut them all. I just kept turning and cutting, and I just sewed them together, and I cut little corners. So this is, as of right now, it's nothing. But there you go.
But I wonder, I think she means this one.
This?
Is that the one you were talking about, Yvonne?
I'll show you anything you want, Yvonne.
I'm thinking that might be the one.
That one has my snail fabric. And this is a Lola that I showed you guys when we were talking about zippers.
What pattern is that one?
This is Tabitha. So Tabitha has the purse, and it also has a tote, which is longer. It's kind of...
Oh, God, that's not the right one either.
Oh.
It's the other one, the one with the diva wallet.
This one.
I think we finally hit it, Yvonne.
This one? This is Laurel.
With the diva wallet.
This is Laurel. And this is the mini diva.
Did we get it right, Yvonne?
Did we get it? Maybe. If not,
yes.
Okay, yay!
Finally.
3rd time's a charm. We got it. So, is that it? Do we have anything else?
No, I don't see
All right.
anything else right now.
Well, guys, if you would all do me a huge favor, huge, it's one of the biggest ones I've ever asked you for. If you would wish my good friend Barb, this one right here, a happy birthday. Her birthday is tomorrow. Tell her thank you for all of the shipping. Thank you for coming in. It was her idea to bring Marlene to work. So I mean,
right.
I said we need another helper, and she said, "How about Marlene?" So thank you, and it's the reason that you have 5 for 25 yard bundles, and she's the reason when things come in wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, thank you, Diana.
No, she is wonderful. I have 2 wonderful people that work for me, and I don't know what I would do without them, and I don't know what you guys would do without them because I would be overwhelmed, and you would not get anything shipped ever. So they keep me organized. They help me out, and they are awesome. So tomorrow is her birthday, and I almost forgot. I would have remembered tomorrow morning, but Marlene reminded me, and I was like, that's right, it's the 23rd. I have a friend from high school who's the 23rd, and every time I'm like, duh, if it's her birthday, it's Barb's birthday.
God, look at this. I can't keep up with it.
So I think that's it.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. And it's also, today is my friend Lisa's sister, Marilyn's birthday. Marilyn, sometimes she watches. I don't know if Marilyn's watching, but if you are, happy birthday. It's always nice to have birthdays.
Marilyn, but I could have missed it.
Sometimes she's on, sometimes she watches later. Marilyn's not a quilter, but she likes to hang out with us anyway. All right, I think we're going to call it a day. If you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. Be nice to each other. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys next Friday to talk about I don't know what, something.
We'll figure it out.
And if you're on YouTube, hello.
And we're gonna work on more sales.
We're gonna
Don't
work
worry.
on more sale fabrics. Don't worry.